Stop all the news, stop all the press, stop all the other stories. Once, when I played for Glossop, we lost a game. I'm suing the Cheshire and whichever one FA for £64 million.
We're going to look into why Felipe Massa thinks he should be world champion. Hello and welcome to View from Luffield. We're going to discuss on today's episode, because there is no Grand Prix, so we're going to discuss what you may have seen about in the news this week. Felipe Massa believes he has a claim to the 2008 Formula One World Championship, and he is suing the FIA, basically suing Formula One, which is bizarre. But we're going to look into it. We'll keep our opinions to ourselves. No, we won't. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane.
It's a joke.
So, just to give you a little bit of data as to what he is, what the court case is about, before we carry on and give our opinions and go into a bit of detail on it. Rewind to Singapore 2008. Crashgate is what it's been referred to in the media. Nelson Piquet was at Nelson Piquet Jr. at the time was racing for Renault along with Fernando Alonso, and Alonso was winning the race. It was believed, and Renault were done at the time, that Piquet crashed on purpose to make sure that Alonso kept that race win. He got that race win, and Renault were punished for it. So too was Nelson Piquet Jr. For their part in that. Fast forward 17 years for some insane reason, and Felipe Massa's brought it straight back up again. So we will go into that now.
What I will say, though, whilst we talk about the Crashgate, is that Fernando Alonso was found innocent of knowing anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big part of the whole story, so I thought I'd bring that up. Renault were guilty.
Piquet was guilty. Flavio Briatore was very guilty. But
Pat Simmons was guilty. You know, you could list them all, but
Fernando Alonso was cleared.
He was cleared of any wrongdoing. He knew nothing about it. He just drove the race. That he was...
Yeah. He shouldn't. He maybe subliminally knew, because that Renault wasn't good enough to win a race.
No.
To be fair to him, he was winning when it happened. Anyway, so that's beside the point. So Felipe Massa has taken Formula One and taken the FIA to court. Now, what's really interesting about this, for me at least, is he appears they originally wanted the court case to strip Hamilton of the 2008 world title and then give it to him. What I've read this week seems to be that he's not actually...
He just wants the one good, doesn't he?
He just wants the money. It seems to be like he's not overly... I've read a few reports this week where it's actually just that he's suing for £64 million. And two questions on that. Why is he not going for the world title? And where's he got £64 million from? Like, is that a number that he believes, had he won the world championship, he'd have got that in bonuses, sponsorship, future endorsements? Maybe he wouldn't have ended up going... I would say backwards in his career, but from you know what I mean. Like, would he? I don't know. I don't understand where the figure of 64 million has come from.
No, I don't know. I mean, we were talking about this a little bit last night, weren't we? And I'd rather the championship.
Yeah, same. But then
he's not short of cash, is he? Let's be honest. I'll tell you what. The reason he's not gone for the championship is, firstly, his lawyer probably doesn't think he can get it.
Yep.
And secondly, his lawyer's probably on 10% or whatever he wins, is the answer to the 64 million bit as well. But there we go. I mean, half of me thinks, is there a Tifosi involvement in this? Because it ended up being an ex-Ferrari driver challenging the current Ferrari driver. And that probably wouldn't go down particularly well in most parts of Italy, or Ferrari for that matter.
The timing seems really weird. Like you say, if he'd have gone for this in the any one of the previous 17 years when Hamilton's been either at McLaren, obviously, or then on to Mercedes, if he'd have done this appeal any one of the previous 17 years, it just seems really weird that he's waited till the point that the person he's appealing against has gone to the team that he is trying to win a world championship for.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a farce, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is a complete joke. And as a Ferrari fan, and I was wanting Massa to win the championship in 2008. Yeah, we were world champions at that point as well. But it's just a pathetic thing to do. I don't like you. I don't get the 64. Excuse me, the £64 million. I know I threw up then in my mouth. It was that big a value. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think he's being very silly. I think he's being very naive. And he's going against a sport that we both love. The best thing about sport, I used this reference the other day, was Lampard. We all know it crossed the line against Germany.
2010 World Cup.
Yeah, thank you. I can't remember the dates. I'm hopeless with football, but I know it happened. It crossed the line. Does that mean we can now say that we were world champions?
Well, the irony is, I think, and this goes because I know Phil's done a little bit of homework on this. So Phil has actually got a few stats from other points during the season, and like that England game, I'm pretty sure from memory that England lost that 4-1.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure. I haven't checked this. I'm pretty sure. Someone correct me in the comments.
England against Germany, we probably lost.
2010, yeah. So I'm pretty sure we lost that game 4-1. So Lampard's goal goes in, and yes, it comes at a time we weren't 4-0 down and whatever else at the time. But that goal goes in. That doesn't necessarily mean, and you're right, that's the comparison. That's just like saying because Lampard's goal didn't count, then that means that Germany knocked England out when they shouldn't have done, and England would have gone on to win the World Cup like that. Football doesn't work like that.
No.
How many times do you see, again, sorry to use the football analogy, how many times do you see a team get relegated and they lose the last game of the season? And you hear the managers and stuff say, we haven't got relegated on the last game of the season. It's been, you know what I mean? And
it's right. There was 18 races in back then. I can't remember. Yeah. There was a reasonable amount of races, not like the 4 that we had at the start of Formula 1 and the 632 that we currently have. So just to bring the facts on this, because by the way, I don't know if you've noticed yet, we both think it's absolutely ridiculous, this, and it should be thrown out, and Massa should be slapped on his way out of court. Let's be honest. But we'll go back. So Australia was the first race of the season that year. Massa, he spun at the start. Drove into David Coulthard, retired with an engine failure.
So it was a new point scoring matrix. So call that 25.
That was 5 points he lost. At least 5 points that he lost. This was the old major. I think it was 10-8-6.
Was it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, the second old.
Yeah,
sorry, I still think of 6.
Yeah, so let's take that as 5 points that he's down on Hamilton. Malaysia, completely unforced error whilst running in second. He loses himself 8 points. That's got nothing to do with Crashgate or Lewis Hamilton being in the McLaren. That's Massa binning it. Probably bottling it, from what we know of Massa. Monaco, he was leading. He went off the track in the rain. Kubica passed him. Finished third. So there's another 4 points. Yes, this is sounding like we're nitpicking, but this is proving the point.
Like we said before, football, you don't get relegated on the last day. He's not lost the title at Singapore. This is the point that you're getting at.
Yeah, Canada. Don't know if you remember, there was an issue with Ferrari's fueling rig. He had to pit twice in a row to put more fuel in. He could have won other than that. So that's 6 points gone. This is all adding up.
I don't know. That's his fault, but that's not.
No, but it's a team sport.
Yeah.
He doesn't drive.
Fault either.
No. In Britain, if you remember this one, we were there.
Yeah.
He spun 5 times during the race.
Yeah.
5 times because there was a light drizzle.
It was. Okay. In his defence on that, it was a light drizzle, but it was that horrible. We do get it on British roads, and I'm not talking about racetracks. You do get it on British roads where it seems to rain for 2 seconds, and all of a sudden it's like dead slippy. So in his defence, but you're right. No one else slipped. No one else spun 5 times.
No, this one's heartbreaking, and this is why he should probably sue Ferrari for 64 million. Hungary, engine failure 3 laps from the end, and he was winning.
Yeah,
there goes a whole 10 points straight away, and he deserved that win. So. That I'd blame Ferrari more than I would the FIA so far.
That sounds familiar.
Welcome to my season, everyone. Singapore.
So this is Crashgate.
Singapore, Crashgate. Nelson Piquet's just perfectly planted it in a wall that's caused the safety car. When safety cars were rare as well.
Yeah, they were rare.
They weren't as common as now someone sneezes on turn 1 and we have 16 minutes.
We start the race because it's raining,
Yeah, because a bird did a dump just by the start line. So he pits, he gets tetchy because Ferrari decided to long fuel him, and he drives off down the pit lane with his fueling rig attached to the car still. That's not Hamilton's fault.
It might be Alonso's, though.
It could. Well, no, this is Piquet's. And then, just to rub salt in the wound, he spun again later in the race, finished 13th. Now, even if, right, you throw out that race and that race alone. In fact, no, you can't throw that race out. Even if you throw out Renault. If you disqualified Alonso from the race win there,
it
only gives Hamilton more points. Because Massa would have still finished what? Throw another car. He finished 12th.
But even if you throw away that result, say Singapore 2008 never happened.
Yep. Yep.
What was the point difference at the end of that season?
1.
Right. Okay. So, but then neither of them are scoring points. Sorry. Even if you throw out that rate, neither of them score points. It stays at 1.
No, it doesn't.
If neither of them score points.
Oh. No, because Hamilton scored points.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So, fair enough. Yeah, good point.
But still, you can't throw out a full race because the one team's cheated.
No, especially when the one team is completely unrelated to the team that won.
Well, if we're going to do that, then 2019 didn't happen because Ferrari were found guilty of tinkering with their engines at every race that season. So should we wipe that?
Most of the late 2000s don't count because McLaren just copied Ferrari.
There is that. 2009 shouldn't have counted because someone turned up with a double diffuser after other teams got told no. But we'll move on to that. I'm only trying to wind you up. Japan drives into Hamilton, gets a drive-through penalty, and finishes 7th. That wasn't crash. No. Well, that was his own Crashgate, that wasn't it? So that's what, about 45 points that he's dropped throughout the season. He should have had it wrapped up way before Singapore ever became a problem.
And the interesting thing as well, I'm not quoting this verbatim because I can't remember it word for word, but apparently I've read a report this week that the FIA have absolutely laid into Massa in court, and they've said,
I should hope so.
Quote, like word, not word for word, but basically the quote something along the lines of, Mr. Massa wasn't world champion in 2008 because of a lack of quality, a lack of consistency, and was regularly outperformed by Mr. Hamilton. It's something along those words, which, I mean, that's damning. But in fairness, Phil's just pointed out the stats there. Yeah. Hamilton outperformed him. There is a lack of consistency there. Whether you blame Massa for them all or Ferrari for them all or whatever.
Yeah, we move on. It's a team sport.
Yeah, there's a lack of consistency from the team to get the best results out of the rest of the thing. And I mean, in fairness, I didn't realise it was just 1 point, actually.
I'm sure it was 1 because it might be right. It was Hamilton passing Glock on the final. Sorry. Was it Glock? It was Glock.
It was Glock, yeah.
It was Glock.
So, yeah, and it might be... it was a lot closer than I actually thought it was. But in fairness, you can say to Felipe Massa, fair play for being second in the World Championship for that amount of such a horrible season.
Yeah, well,
The irony is you would not, with people like...
He beat Raikkonen. He beat a world champion teammate that season. Be proud of that.
So, I mean, from us, look, Felipe Massa, and the one, actually, to be fair, before I do wrap it up, the one worrying thing about this for Felipe Massa is he has a pretty good reputation in Formula 1. I don't think there's anyone in Formula 1 that dislikes Felipe Massa. Even as someone who liked McLaren at that time, I was more of a Jenson Button fan, but even as liking McLaren at the time, you did feel sorry for Felipe Massa because when he crossed the line in Brazil, he thought he was world champion.
Oh, I celebrated. I was jumping up and down, and the heartbreak of already being over the line and knowing your season's done. And then his dad turned around and saw... I mean, good move by Hamilton, to be fair.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Glock was struggling.
And, it's always been a bit of a non-controversial season, that one. Because you had Crashgate, then you had the death threats to Glock and everything, who just took a gamble. The Toyota was naff, and he decided to keep slicks on a completely drenched track.
Why not? Yeah. For his point of view, it doesn't matter.
It means nothing to Timo Glock, who went on and had a great career in DTM.
In fact, it's made him it put his name on the map and hit the fact he was
so involved. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is it's such fine margins over a huge season that to pinpoint one thing, and let's be honest, even if Crashgate did happen, don't drive off with the fuel filler attached to the side of your car. It is that simple.
I think the bottom line is for Felipe Massa, he fits in that category of, no disrespect to any of these drivers, by the way, but David Coulthard, Mark Webber, Eddie Irvine, like these people who
by the way.
Daniel Ricciardo for me even fits in that category. Like fantastic drivers, but you're just not good enough. You're not that next step. And when I say not good enough, you're not like world champion level.
I think they could have been. I think they were lacking certain bits mentally. I know,
but that's my point.
Yeah, I know. Coulthard turned around and said the reason I wasn't a champion is I was too nice.
Yeah, he was too nice. So was Eddie Irvine, to be fair.
Yeah, except for at parties apparently.
Well, yeah, but that's the point. It's like, and the Massa's there, and that's not a bad career to have. But you like that anyway. Anyway, so we here from View from Luffield, we completely throw out. I mean, it's not our decision, but we hope that the FIA and Formula One completely throw this out because it's nonsensical. You can look at, we've said it how many times this season, if Lando Norris hadn't driven into Oscar Piastri in Canada, if he hadn't had that engine blow up in
Holland?
Yeah.
Zandvoort?
He'd be leading. I mean, I know he is now leading the world championship, but he'd have been leading the world championship early. Like, if my mum had two wheels, she'd be a bicycle. Like, you can't keep saying if this, if that, if the other. It don't work like that in sport. So, Felipe Massa, from us here, you are an idiot. Drop it. You weren't world champion, and if you can get any of this 64 million, you're a very, very lucky boy. And that is it from us.
Yeah, I've got no more to say on the matter.
No, it was only
throw the case out. Throw the case out. Move on.
Get rid of it.
What case are we on next? Briatore charges.
Oh God. We haven't got the space.
We're going to be busy.
So that is it. Just a very, very quick video, just to keep you up to date with the Felipe Massa thing. If you want us to do any more videos like this, drop us a note in the comments. If you have any more opinions on the Felipe Massa thing, drop us a thing in the comments. We won't agree because we think it's nonsense. And that is it. Tomorrow there will be another video live as well. So we're hitting it a double shift this weekend.
We will be wearing the same clothes. We do wash.
Yeah,
it's just that we're filming them back to back. I don't want anyone to think that. Look at this. I mean, look. Just by he's got a new jumper. He probably won't take it off. I am personally offended by it, but I promise you, we're kind of going to stop this and do the next one.
I've already worn it for 5 days in a row. So, yeah. Anyway, so the next video will be up tomorrow. It is my top 10 list of the worst drivers of my generation from recent memory. There is a little bit of recency bias. This is going to be fun.
I can't wait for this.
So please keep an eye out for that tomorrow. But as for us for now, thank you very much. See you next time.